Craig Janney is out to take the draw for the U.S. Robert Reichel for the Czechs, and right in front, the puck slipped off the stick of Janney as he had the goaltender down and out. Long shot, that's wide of the net. Czechs starting to come out. Here's Seeger. Cross-ice pass. Goal by Kolnick over on the right side. Hatcher rubbed him into the boards. Another defenseman pitching in was Vacha. Weinrich, the U.S. clears the zone. No icing call. The goaltender out to play the puck. Past the midway point of the second period at the Joe Louis Arena. The U.S. leading 3-1. Czechs handling it here. Vacha over on the right side. Long pass into the skates of Robert Reichel. Calgary Flame test Richter with another long shot. Won't beat him with that. This is Seeger trying to cut in off right wing. Puts one in the slot. The drive off the chest protector of Richter. Good shot by Reichel. Now Brent Hull can't get over center ice. Vacha. Nice pass up ahead. Ruzynski, or Reichel, excuse me, has shot it in. Hatcher recovers back of the net. Kevin Hatcher to Brent Hull on right wing. Couldn't take the pass. It's going the length of the ice. Icing waved off. The U.S. in the middle of the player change. Canada has a 3-0 lead over Sweden. They've just completed the first period of that game at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. And here, midway through the second period, the U.S. beats Czechoslovakia 3-1 as Pat LaFontaine brings the U.S. across the line. Nice pass. Brown shot deflected wide. Christian with it here. After the blue line, Chelios. Hard pass away from Suter. Czechs trying to come out around the boards. Christian pinching in. Plays it to the corner. This is LaFontaine. Slips away from one Czech. Trying to get around the second, and the puck knocked off his stick. Chelios can't get it away from Pavak. Up quickly, 2-on-1. The Czechs over the line. Big drive wide of Richter as Zemlichka teed it up. LaFontaine has cleared the zone. The Czechs with it again at center ice. That's Kuchera backhanding it into the U.S. territory.
Kind of an odd choice of plays, Jigs. They had a 2-on-1 break. Jelinek was on the right side, but he quit skating.
Yeah, now Doug Brown brings the U.S. across the Czech line. He surrounded three of them right there, breaking up that rush. Around the boards and up the left side, Ruzicka. And he has put it on Berenik's stick. He gets checked at the blue line, and here's Granado to Roenick. Jeremy Roenick chasing a loose puck as we welcome our CTV audience across Canada. I'm Jigs McDonald with Ed Westfall. We have 7.5 minutes remaining in the second period. Team USA leading Czechoslovakia by a score of 3-1. LaFontaine and Roenick scored in the first period before Jelinek replied for Czechoslovakia. Joel Otto, the Calgary Flame centerman, scoring his first goal of the Labatt Canada Cup 91, coming a minute and 25 seconds into the second period.
One of the advantages now for the U.S. after they regained the 3-1 lead, Jigs, is the fact that they can use a little more of their bench. They were starting to squeeze down. Early in the hockey game, things weren't working out too well till the goal by Joel Otto. Now you see things kind of loosen up a little bit. More players getting into the action.
Chicago Blackhawks' Jeremy Roenick on the draw here. The youngster Berenik won the faceoff. Shinsky played it back to the net, of the Czechs in the white uniforms. Moving to the right side for Yager, who is well covered. Roenick, and he had Madonna open, but elected not to give it to him. Moving it off the blue line here is Jimmy Johnson. Johnson plays it around the boards. Yager hit hard again by Roenick. They've been at one another all evening. Yager wearing number 15 for the Czechs. Johnson, the Minnesota Stars, has played it down into the Czech zone. That's Frank Musil going to the right side. Pass behind Yager, off Ruzynski's stick and deflected. Mike Richter will cover it and get a face-off. Here's the recap of what's been happening here at the Joe Louis Arena tonight. LaFontaine before the 4-minute mark with assist to Christian and Brown. Then Leach and Hull assisted on Roenick's power play goal to make the score 2-0. Jelinek stole a puck, scored unassisted, his second of the Labatt Canada Cup. 2-1 at the end of one period. As you see, Joel Otto with an assist from Eddie Olchuk early in the second period.
I think back, Jakes, to the quick interview we had with Frank Musil at the end of the first period. He was talking about he hoped that the coaching staff would abandon that particular style of play. They were using the left winger never to forecheck, only to stand in front of the net and to back check and help deep in his own end of the ice. Seems that they may have gotten away from that because the right wingers of the Canadian team were having a field day with Dominic Hasek.
In the second period, the Czechs are out shooting the U.S. by a margin of 9-4. Here's Seeger trying to break in. The puck knocked away from him. And the Czech defense will go back. Richard Zemlik puts it back to the net. Watches the other defenseman, number 18. And here's Edno Seeger, the New Jersey Devil forward. He's played one season in the National Hockey League. Reichel heads to the front of the net. Reichel also having played only 1 year, that with Calgary. And here's Joel Otto, teammate at Calgary, playing a long pass to Joey Mullen. He's across the line on left wing, sets up Olchuk. Otto drives to the net, and the pass was out of his reach. The Czechs clear the puck out of the zone. And Chelios shot it right to goaltender Dominic Hasek, who covers it for a faceoff. 3-1, the U.S. leading. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. Again, it's Craig Janney on the draw. He's out with Miller and Hull. Boy, he's a little too anxious. Ray Scapanello puts the puck in play. The U.S. wins the draw. Chelios to Hull and hits into that boom off the pads of Hasek. And there's a dive in the center ice area that's going to be called by referee Bill McCreary. The first penalty of the second period. A hook.
Jelinek knew when to take the dive. He did it at the right time. Suter draws the penalty in the center ice area. There's Jelinek. Suter hooked his right arm, but not hard enough to create that kind of a fall, but it worked. I suppose that's the main thing. Suter, the Madison, Wisconsin native, the Calgary Flame, is in the penalty box. A power play now for Team Czechoslovakia. Their power play in this hockey game has been anything but good. They have sputtered and faltered. Haven't had that many good opportunities. Of course, a lot of that because of the good penalty killing that Team USA possesses. What an opportunity for Brett Hull. He's going to interview with us at the end of the second period. Look at this. How many players do you know that can do that? Grab the puck coming laterally and behind him and get the shot away in one motion. Not many. Brett Hull can do it.
Several of his 86 goals last season for the St. Louis Blues coming off shots like that. Boy, he is really upset with the compensation factor involved, with the Blues having signed Brendan Shanahan and Scott Stevens being awarded to the Devils. Very outspoken. Steve Simmons writing today in the Toronto Sun, quoting Hull and back to Brett after the statements had been jotted down and said, "Now this is what you said, isn't it?" Hull said yes and went on even further. Kevin Allen of USA Today is writing Hull's autobiography. Got 5 more chapters to do. They hope to have the book out in time for the Christmas trade. U.S. a man short here. Jelinek playing it back of the net. Down to the far side. Very methodical. This is an area that the Czechs have to take advantage of. They've got to get something going on their power play to have any chance in this Canada Cup tournament. Hadn't scored a power play goal coming into tonight's game. They're 0 for 3, working on their 4th chance here.
Just a little too methodical. There's no nice flow that a power play should have, Jakes. They seem to be so mechanical.
They even iced the puck.
Remember the last power play they had, they were offside twice on it. There's the defenseman, Leo Gudas. He's 26 years old. He's number 3. Camera panning along the bench. Kuchera, as he sits down. There's Ivan Holinka. He played in the '76 Canada Cup as the captain. Made it to the finals that year. Played 2 years, as Jiggs had mentioned, with the Vancouver Canucks, the 81-82 season, along with the 82-83. He scored 42 goals, had 81 assists, 123 points in 137 games.
Ran a tough practice here this morning for a game day workout, wasn't it?
Was it ever?
Chance developing here. The puck off Chelios, off Richter as well. 4.5 minutes remaining in the second period. It's frozen on the boards, and they'll bring it outside the U.S. zone for the ensuing faceoff.
Some of the games coming up in the Labatt Canada Cup. Czechs playing Canada September the 7th. That's on Saturday. Sweden and Finland. USA plays the Soviets in Chicago. That game you will see, we will be at and bringing to you right here as we speak. Only it'll be in Chicago, not here at the Joe Louis Arena.
Will we know the difference? Quite likely. Our last report, there were still several good tickets available at Chicago Stadium to see Team USA and the Soviets on Saturday. And then, of course, Finland and Team USA finish up the round-robin tournament Monday night at Chicago Stadium, and we'll have coverage of that game for you as well. Frank Lucille down the left side. Drafted originally by the Minnesota North Stars, as they were then, now only to be called the Stars this coming season. Play called here. This is the 1991 Labatt Canada Cup. There are the numbers. 3-1, U.S. leading. Under 4 minutes remaining in the second period. And the teams are back at 6-a-side after Suter's hooking penalty. And again, Team Czechoslovakia does not mount a shot on goal during that 2-minute span. JJ, Jim Johnson turns back of the net. Weinrich is his defense mate. Trouble getting the puck to him. Now Weinrich goes back of the U.S. goal, tries the left side. Held in by the Czech. Seeger's shot blocked by Weinrich. Seeger with it again. Gets bumped by Eric Weinrich. Teammates in New Jersey, and the puck is loose back in the U.S. goal. With the strength here, but they can't one-hand it in front. Good effort by Robert Reichel. Here's Pat LaFontaine cutting through center ice. Drops it back to the blue line, and unable to handle it or do anything was Roenick. Vacha leading the rush. Defenseman up to join the play, but they put things offside at the U.S. blue line, and exactly 3 minutes remain in the second period.
Interesting when you think of some of the names that are not in the lineup for Team Czechoslovakia. As you look at the bench of Team USA, there's the Czech team. Peter Stastny, he said he wasn't going to play because there wasn't enough Slovaks playing on the team. David Volek, Jari Hrdina, Peter Klima, Edmonton Oilers. He wanted to wait until they came over here. He didn't want to show up for training camp in Czechoslovakia, and Coach Ivan Holinka said, no, that won't work. Ruzicka, Vladimir Ruzicka, Robert Hollick, some of the names missing from Team Czechoslovakia.
Guys decided they didn't want to go to Nürnberg, wherever that is in Czechoslovakia. That's where they had their training camp. Holinka said, if you're not there for the full 2 weeks of training before we go to Canada, you have no chance of being on the team. David Volek of the Islanders said he thought he had done his duty playing in the World Tournament last April. Team USA trying to break out of the zone. The Penguins' Joey Mullen is knocked down. And the Caps, Ivanka couldn't get it in front of the net. Eddie Olchuk playing now for the Winnipeg Jets has cleared it out. Turning in the center ice area is Zemlichka, who got knocked off his pins. Ivanka trying to screen Richter, pokes the puck toward the corner, and Olchuk is on it. Down the boards for Joey Mullen. Mullen, the New York native, his brother Brian is on the roster, hasn't played yet. Here's Olchuk across the line, cuts to the left side, and then dumps it in. Joey Mullen centers from back of the net, couldn't get it to Janney. Jacks come up 3-on-3. Yager leading the rush. Jaromir Jagr across the line, goals up. It's pushed by Chelios. Over to help out is Brent Hull, and he clears the zone.
Kind of a lonely feeling for Yager that time, Jigs. He was up a 3-on-3 rush, and two of his teammates went for a change.
Now, a long shot. Just wide of the net. That one off Baranek's stick. We haven't seen Palffy in the second period. He played a couple of shifts in the first period. The youngster got hit this morning. He was reaching into the net at the end of practice, pulling the pucks out. One of his teammates drilled the puck. I mean, blasted it, and it went right off his hand. That's smart, and he may have a broken bone. I'm only speculating here, but the shot that he took looks wicked. Now Miller closes in, goes back of the net. Centers one in the goal crease. Hasek dives on it and holds it for a face-off. Late in the second period, this is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Period by Team USA. Behind the net, waiting, Kevin Miller. There's the play to the front. Hasek moves across, grabs a hold of the puck. Hull had really started the rush. A Czech goaltender who has played in 5 World Cups and the '88 Olympics at Calgary makes another save.
That one by Brown just went wide of the net and centered out in front. Hasek down, rolling around in the goal mouth, but he has been able to smother the puck.
Every play around the net looks dangerous.
Yeah.
With Hasek, he's down on all fours. He's groveling around down there. But in the second period, so far, he's been able to do the job. There's the shot. He stretches out. I wonder what a goalie coach would say about the way he handled that save. He does get the job done, but it's a little awkward in its look.
I'll tell you what.
We'll get Joe Bertagna one of these days to maybe give us an idea of how that goes about. He's the goalie coach of Team USA, of course, with the Boston Bruins.
Hasek had been without a stick for a few moments here. And return to him. There's LaFontaine setting up Doug Brown. Holds and shoots. That deflected off the defenseman Basha. Cleared around the boards and out of the zone with 28 seconds left in the second period. Kevin Hatcher back for it. Hatcher to the right side. Doug Brown. Backhands it out of the zone. Up ahead is LaFontaine. He is offside. He tipped the puck behind Hasek anyway, but the whistle had already sounded.
Always dangerous, Pat LaFontaine. From a standing stop to top speed, nobody is quicker.
LaFontaine, one of 5 Michigan, well, actually born in Missouri, so we'll make him not one of the 5 Michigan players on this team. Mentioned not in the lineup tonight, the Islanders defenseman Jeff Norton. Norton's been bothered by a shoulder and off-season surgery. Today he went over to the University of Michigan to check in with the team doctor, the guy who had looked after him during his college career, just to make sure that it was progressing as well as he thought. He has not played a game. He did play several games prior to the tournament. Nothing thus far as the U.S. playing their 3rd game tonight.
New York Islanders, as you point out, there's 3 players here. Randy Wood rounds out the other player. Has not played in the game also.
There's the horn ending the second period, a rather uneventful period. Only 1 penalty, only 1 goal. Hasek didn't have a whole lot of work. Richter was the busier of the 2 goaltenders that period.
Was busy, Jigs, when you think it's 11 shots on Richter, and it wasn't until near the end of the second period that Team USA got 2 or 3 shots at Hasek. He ended up having to stop 7 in the period.
Well, coming into the game, Jim Taylor said that he felt that if the U.S. played the game that they were capable of, and that is taking away center ice, clogging it up, forcing everything to the outside, that would give the Czech defense an opportunity to let the U.S. win the game. Not too high praise for Team Czechoslovakia's D, but through 2 periods, it's a low-scoring game. The U.S. 3, Czechoslovakia 1. This is the 1991 Labatt Canada Cup.